right, Rick. So now we talked about the beginnings and how you got to where you're going and the incredible success that you're presently, experiencing, which is all wonderful. The collaboration with Stock, Aitken and Waterman, that's a pretty intensive one that's worked very, very well for you,
yep.
and that I'm sure has its pros and cons, because you sort of sometimes get lost in the limelight of the popularity of other people, and sometimes it's very hard to come out and say, well, maybe I don't want to do this. Maybe I don't want to sing this particular song, but how can you say that when things are happening so quickly and you're making big bucks and the popularity is going?
Well, the money thing, I can say with my hand on my heart that it literally does not influence me at all, really. For instance, if it had all ended tomorrow, I'd still have a music room at home and I'd still be, messing around with my keyboards and things on the guitar, all that. So, more than anything, it's a case of, because the first single took off the way it did, and we achieved a lot of success really within a matter of weeks. We haven't really had time to sit back and plan things and organise things. I know people would think it's all organised and everything. It's literally just hanging on by the skin of your teeth, I mean, we sort of spend about a day planning videos, I say planning videos, somebody else plans them, I go along, turn up, act miserable all day and then complain about it afterwards, You
really don't like the video process?
No, I hate it all. But it's something that I'm going to try and work on, and something that I'm going to try and I want to make a video that I can say I like that, as opposed to cringing every time one comes on, But anyway, but the Stock Aitken Waterman thing, really, I think I was very lucky in the fact that I sort of met them as they were just sort of starting off. I was about 19 at the time, which is like 4 years ago. So they were just starting, and when I actually signed to them, they were working with a band called Dead or Alive. So they just had a #1. I mean, they hadn't worked with Banana Rama, they hadn't worked with like Mel and Kim or anything like that, Samantha Fox, anything like that. So I got in really, in my opinion, at the right time. I think one of the things that's been really hard is that a lot of the artists that they've worked with since haven't been particularly very credible. And now that they've worked with a couple of artists, Kylie Minogue and Jason Donovan, who've come from a soap thing, So I think I've sort of been thrown in the same sort of category as them, which, at the end of the day, I mean, these people have been offered a chance, just like I have, and they've gone for it. The only thing is that I came from what I would call a musical background, and they came from a showbiz background, really. So I don't particularly want to make another album with Stock Aitken Waterman, and to a degree, I mean, the last album, they only did 3 of the songs.
That's right.
So I think it's been a natural progression from them doing 5 to 3, and now the next album I'd like to go off and say, work with somebody perhaps from America, an American producer, some songwriters, and also progress with my own songs. I did 6 songs on the last album, so it's getting there.
Do you know who you'd want to work with in the States as a producer?
There's a few people, but I'm certainly not going to mention them on air just in case they hear it and then say, who does he think he is?
Well, why not? They just might be very happy to hear that, actually.
You never know, but I'd rather offer them the money first,
Yeah, that's right, so, save that.
So I think the thing is with Stock Aitken Waterman is, as I say, they gave me a great break, but I also did some good things for them,
Absolutely.
So, but it's a two-way thing, and I think really I've gone as far as I can with them, and I think it's a shame because I know they've got great talent, they've got great abilities, but they're just turning their abilities to doing this sort of commercialised, let's have a #1 hit with every record that they do, which is fine and everything, but I mean, I don't particularly think it's going to last very long, so I don't really want to be a part of it anymore. When I met them, it was great because they let me use their studios, I got to do demos and everything. But I just think that it's gone a little too far now, really, which happens with almost every kind of situation, At the end of the day, it's always got to end sometime. So for me, it's going to end now,
Talk to me also a little bit about the fact that, your first album, most of the material was chosen for you, and we go, here, Rick, we wrote this song, we want you to sing it. Did you ever feel at a certain time, well, this is not the kind of song that, because I listen to your voice and I think that you can sing almost anything that you would put your mind.
Well, I'm glad you just said that. I mean, that's a great compliment, and I thank you for it. And I think the point is that that's why it's a little sad, really, because they limit themselves, I think, in their own abilities as songwriters, because I think they have the ability to write any kind of song. But as I say, they want to stick to this particular formula. So, to be quite honest, with the first album, I looked upon it as, I got 4 of my songs on that album. They did 5, we did a cover. So, as long as they were going to write songs like Never Gonna Give You Up, I was going to be quite happy about it, I like dance music, and to a great degree I got to sing it the way I wanted to sing it, A lot of producers, including them, but I mean a lot of producers, will take a vocalist and literally do it, word for word and everything, which to a degree they do. But obviously, because I have the ability to sing, then I stamped my sort of mark on the records that I sang,
You said something very interesting. You said, I like dance music. I love dance music too, but there's something that happened at the beginning of the 80s. There was a huge movement just to commemorate this whole thing and bring it down. in Chicago where everybody got all their disco songs, put them in boxes, burned them and set them on fire and said disco sucks. And a lot of the times now, a lot of critics are very tough on artists who do the disco dance scene, and they don't seem to think that it's as credible as if you're doing something with a political message or you're talking about the starvation. I'm totally against it, but I'm just wondering, how do you deal with that sort of a thing? Because it's happening.
Well, at the end of the day, you know, I make music because I enjoy it, and I think it's a great thing that people can put messages across in music. The only thing is, I don't particularly think too many people would pay much attention to me if I did it, you know, because I'm 23. What do I know about the world, you know? Okay, so I've travelled around the world a couple of times in the space of 18 months, but I don't know anything about it. I've been to Montreal now, you know, and I've seen the Four Seasons Hotel. It's a great hotel, believe me. I've seen Le Ronde, you know. It's a great gig, you know. I've been to this studio, and that's about it, really. So, what have I got? You know, I don't have the right to. I have the right to write about songs and speak about anything I want to, but I sometimes think that it's a very dangerous situation because, for instance, people out there who may like me as a singer or an artist or whatever have the tendency sometimes to put people like me on pedestals.
That's right.
And so sometimes things that I say have more weight than your average person in the street. And sometimes I think that sucks because, you know, say you Peter Gabriel, you Stings, okay, they've had time in their lives to reflect on things and put things into perspectives. And, you know, they have the ability perhaps to put it into songs in a way that people can actually sit down and say, okay, I'll have some of that. But for somebody like me to do it at my age and my inexperience and everything, I don't particularly want to take things like that on, you know.
We're going to take a look at a couple more clips. We're going to do a little translation, and you can't go anywhere.
Okay.
Stick around. Rick Astley avec nous en studio.